This ghostly woman gets married every day, yet she remains a virgin to this day. Because every time before the wedding night, the groom dies from a sudden explosion. Not a single one survives until the next morning. To experience the joys of being a woman, this 300-year-old ghost decided to consult a fortune teller for her fate. After searching tirelessly for 47 days, she set her sights on me. But I was just a lazy freeloader living off others. By chance I stumbled upon a macho manual. I thought it would help me make a fortune and attract women. Little did I know upon reading it, it was all about giving life to ghosts. But I'm the type, be both curious and bold. Believing in the saying that every trade has its master, I decided to give it a try. Today is my second day setting up shop to attract ghosts. I even spent 10 yuan on burning paper money, but I still didn't see a single shadow. A cold wind suddenly blew past, making the temperature drop even further. Not wanting to catch a cold and waste money on medicine, I decided to pack up and go home in disappointment. No one noticed that a white figure was following me the entire way. After returning to my rented room, I was about to use the bathroom, but when I glanced at the mirror, it scared me so much that I wet my pants. Behind me stood a woman staring at me intently. Her voice was cold as she spoke slowly. I heard you can read ghost fates. Before meeting a ghost in person, I was always curious about how they looked. But now that I've seen one, I've completely lost my nerve. I wanted to say I couldn't do it, and send her away quickly. But before I could speak she added, if you refuse to help me, she would take my life right away. Under her threats and persuasion, I had no choice but to use the book's contents. To read her fortune, I studied the ghostly woman's palm lines for a while, then looked at her face. I frowned. Your fate is rather complicated. Overall you have a noble destiny, but it's accompanied by great danger. However, you're destined to have benefactors. If you seize their help, you'll surely turn misfortune into fortune. Moreover, your face shows peach blossoms blooming. You'll have romantic luck soon. And it seems like it's right around the corner. As I looked at her beauty, I was momentarily entranced. My gaze involuntarily drifted down a bit. The ghostly woman noticed my drooling expression. She froze for a moment, then immediately flew into a rage. Shameless and lewd, men are all the same. With that she flung me several meters away. Just as she was about to deliver a fatal blow, I pulled out a protective charm and held it in front of me. As soon as the ghost approached, the charm emitted a golden light, blasting her across the room, and onto the bed in the bedroom. I had thought this charm was just a scam, and a cheap trick when I bought it. But to my surprise it was the real deal. And it worked perfectly today. I was overjoyed. Feeling triumphant I swaggered over to the ghost. You came to me for a reading. I put in so much effort to help you. Not only do you not thank me, but you repay kindness with hostility. Weren't you so tough just now? Where's all your strength now? She kept retreating step by step, until she was cornered at the head of the bed. Just as she prepared to fight to the death, I slapped the protective charm onto her forehead. The ghostly woman was instantly immobilized. Her ghostly powers were completely sealed. She was frozen in place. After how painfully she threw me around, it was my turn to get even. I slapped her several times in a row. The joy in my heart was indescribable. Though she couldn't speak, her furious gaze pierced right through me. After a dozen slaps I was exhausted, so I lay on the bed to rest. As I lay there, staring at the ghostly woman who was even prettier than a movie star, I started to feel a strange emotion. After all, I had been single for over 20 years. I'd never experienced anything like this before. Seeing the change in my gaze, the ghostly woman's face showed a hint of panic. What are you trying to do? Are you even human? I'm a ghost, for heaven's sake. I swallowed nervously, carefully considering a question. Is there any law protecting ghosts? If not, then what was I hesitating for? Sorry, I apologize. The next part isn't suitable. I'll skip it for everyone. 10 seconds later, I let out a long satisfied sigh. After over 20 years, I finally broke my streak of celibacy. Though I never expected it to be with a ghost. But this ghost was unbelievably beautiful. All in all, it was worth it. Looking at the ghost on the bed, I thought it wouldn't be bad to keep her around. The problem was, I didn't know how long this charm would hold her. If it ever stopped working, wouldn't that be the day I die? At this moment, the ghost was lying on the bed, staring at me with a look of fury. But beneath her anger, there was also a deep sense of grievance. After all, even in life she had remained virtuous. She never expected that even in death, she would be defiled by someone. Just as the ghostly woman was filled with rage and sorrow, she suddenly felt a burning sensation in her abdomen. Her ghostly energy surged instantly. The protective charm on her forehead was incinerated into ashes by her powerful energy. The sight of this shocked me out of my thoughts, and I let out a terrified scream. The next second, I quickly prepared to dash out the door. If I didn't leave now, the next time I woke up would likely be in my next life. But with just a wave of her hand, the ghostly energy dragged me back. In an instant she appeared before me. her face full of murderous intent. She grabbed my neck with one hand. "Were you having fun just now? Still enjoying yourself now?" With her grip tightening around my neck, I could feel my breathing becoming harder and harder. My face turned red, no matter how I struggled. Her hand was like an iron clamp unmoving. I couldn't breathe, and my eyes started rolling back. Just as I thought I was about to die, the ghost suddenly threw me aside and disappeared into the night. She didn't kill me. I couldn't believe it. Could it be that she thought I was too handsome and had a change of heart? Whatever the reason, I had escaped death this time. I lay on the bed, unable to calm my racing heart. The absurdity of the situation felt like a bizarre dream. Perhaps from exhaustion, I drifted off into a deep sleep. When I woke up again, it was already 9 in the morning. Rubbing my face, I quickly got dressed, but when I went to the bathroom to freshen up, I was startled by my own reflection. My face was pale as a ghost. My eyes were lifeless, and I looked as if I were on the verge of death. It must have been the ghost's doing. She must have drained my energy while we were together. But there was no time to dwell on it now. I decided to eat a nourishing soup that night to recover. After all, I still have a proper job. I'm a delivery rider. Although I don't make much, it's enough to support myself. I quickly finished freshening up and started taking delivery orders. As I carried a delivery into a traditional Chinese medicine clinic, an elderly man in a white coat stopped me. "Young man, have you encountered something unclean recently?" His words startled me. How did he know? After thinking about it, I figured he must be no ordinary person. So I nodded and confessed everything to him. "Last night while delivering food, I did encounter a ghost." The old man looked at me thoughtfully. "You've been tainted by yin energy. Lift your shirt, let me take a look." Although puzzled, I lifted my shirt. The old man's face changed instantly as he shook his head and sighed. "The yin energy has entered through the yang gate. It's reached your lungs and navel. Even the gods can't save you. When the black lines spread to your heart, you will surely die." At first I thought he was just trying to scare me, to squeeze some money out of me. But when I looked at my abdomen, I saw black web-like lines. They had already reached above my navel. I was utterly terrified. "Master, save me. I haven't even gotten married, had a girlfriend, or left behind descendants. I haven't lived enough yet, and I don't want to die." But the old man shook his head. "Young man, stop delivering food. You only have 7 days left. Eat whatever you want. Enjoy yourself." His words felt like a death sentence. I can't even remember how I walked out of the clinic. My mind was completely blank. I rode my electric scooter aimlessly down the road, with only one thought in my head: I'm going to die. As I passed an intersection, a little boy singing a nursery rhyme suddenly ran out from the side. If I hadn't braked suddenly, I would have hit him. I quickly got off and asked him, "Are you okay? Did you get hurt?" But the boy seemed scared, just staring at me without saying a word. I was about to ask more, but he suddenly ran off. This unexpected event snapped me out of my earlier thoughts. So what if I die? What's there to fear? If I become a ghost, I'll find that ghostly woman and make her take responsibility for me. Who knows, I might even become her ghostly husband. At that moment I came to terms with it. After all, I'm a loner with no attachments. If I'm going to die, why keep delivering food? I bought some barbecue and beer, went back to my rental and indulged myself. As I ate and drank, I reflected on how unpredictable life was. A single encounter with the ghostly woman ended up being my doom. 1,000 years ago Ning Kaichen had similar luck, but he didn't get tainted by yin energy. Was it because Ni Shaochen consented? Suddenly a thought struck me. I remembered something from that book. Besides explaining how to read ghostly fates, it also taught how to draw protective charms. Most importantly, it also had a section on cultivation techniques. At first I didn't take it seriously, but I had already seen ghosts, so nothing seemed impossible anymore. If that cultivation method was real, could it solve the yin energy in my body? Without hesitation I flipped to the page describing the cultivation method. Although parts of the text were worn out, I could faintly make out the words yin technique. I read it over several times and memorized the cultivation method. Then I began to practice. Under the vast sky, virtuous women love scoundrels. Scoundrels are not to be feared. Beware of naive girls. With this chant guiding me, I quickly entered the right state. I could feel the yin energy in my abdomen being drawn by the technique, slowly refining and storing it in my dantian. Several hours later, I finally opened my eyes. Although I wasn't sure if I would still die, seeing the changes in my body made me very happy. At the same time I felt regretful. It seemed I was destined to part ways with that ghostly woman. We couldn't become a ghostly couple. I tested my strength and reaction speed, and they were noticeably stronger than before. Even my senses had become sharper. If I wasn't going to die, then I needed to live my life well. After all, poverty was worse than death. I glanced at the clock. It was almost 9 p.m. Feeling tired, I drifted off into a deep sleep. But in the middle of my sleep, a strange sound woke me up. I was furious. Who lets their kids play outside, singing nursery rhymes at this hour? It's driving me crazy, I shouted out loud, only to be met with silence. The singing outside suddenly stopped, but cold sweat started to drip down my back. I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. My roommate worked night shifts, and wasn't supposed to be home at this hour. So who was the one singing outside just now? Could it be a burglar? But it was a child's voice singing earlier. Or maybe I was just dreaming or hallucinating. As I pondered this, I heard footsteps outside. The sound of the steps didn't have the weight of an adult. It definitely wasn't an adult. Suddenly there was a knock on my door. Knock 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 knock. 4 knocks. The fortune-telling book had mentioned humans knock 3 times, but ghosts knock 4. I quickly got up and prepared myself, grabbing a fruit knife from the table. At that moment, a boy's voice came from outside the door. Big brother, can I come in? I'm the kid you almost hit this afternoon. I may be a ghost, but don't be scared. It won't hurt you. I just need your help with something. After thinking for a moment, I decided not to refuse. After all, having seen a ghost before, I wasn't as scared anymore. If I didn't open the door, he'd probably just stay there. I opened the door, but I remained cautious. As the saying goes, ghosts are full of lies. Even though he was just a little ghost, I couldn't let my guard down. What do you want from me? The boy saw I was willing to help, and began to speak slowly. 5 years ago I wasn't careful at an intersection, and I was hit by a car. That's how I died and became a ghost. After becoming a ghost, no one could see me anymore. No one could hear me speak either. I could only play by myself every day. Sometimes I even had to hide from evil spirits. If they caught me, they'd eat me. I don't have a single friend. Big brother, you're the first person who can see me. That's why I couldn't resist coming to find you. I think you must have some special ability. Can you help me find the way to the underworld? Hearing the boy's words, I sighed in my heart. What a pitiful child. So I opened the fortune-telling book to see if there was a solution. After learning his name, I first calculated his ghostly fate. I carefully observed the boy's face. He had died tragically, but there was no resentment. His ghostly aura was full, a sign of prosperity and peace. His palm had 3 ghostly lines, 12 years of mortal life. The ghostly lines were smooth, indicating a peaceful afterlife. This left me puzzled. Your ghostly fate looks good, and you should reincarnate into a wealthy family. So why can't you find the way to the underworld? At that moment, the boy finally explained. When I first died, my mom was heartbroken. I couldn't bear to leave her, so I didn't go. Later she had another baby brother. She didn't need me anymore. But by then, I couldn't find the way to the underworld. His words reminded me of a line in the fortune-telling book. The fate token can guide lost souls. After calculating his ghostly fate, I needed to write his fate token and imbue it with a special incantation that would complete the process. I quickly found paper and pen. To the mortal soul, 12 years of life. 5 years have passed. The afterlife awaits. Reincarnate into a wealthy family. After writing the fate token, I followed the incantation in the book and infused the refined yang energy into the token. The fate token instantly ignited with green flames and burned to ash. Strangely enough, after completing this ritual, the boy seemed to feel something. He suddenly shouted with excitement, "Big brother, I know how to get to the underworld now." Suddenly in the small room, a path appeared out of nowhere. The path was surrounded by mist, making it impossible to see where it led. I stared in awe at the road that had appeared. Is this the way to the underworld? At that moment, the boy thanked me profusely. He prepared to step onto the path of reincarnation. "Big brother, I'm leaving now. Thank you. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. When I came to find you, I noticed there's an evil spirit in your neighborhood.